Prince, your friend, he was really nice to our radio show throughout the years. He leaned on you for a lot of advice throughout key moments in his career. Do you want to talk about some of those?
Yeah, there were a few times that we had some, deep conversations where he very rarely revealed publicly a certain kind of vulnerability
Right.
and a certain kind of insecurity that I think comes with being that advanced in a business that, can sometimes not necessarily foster a certain type of safe haven for that kind of genius. And so we had in addition, I met him initially when he was working on his first album, we had an engineer, Tommy Vicari, that we had in common. And
Right.
Tommy was the one actually that introduced Prince and I by phone. And then we had the occasion to meet. He asked me to actually write some strings for his album For You on a song called, I believe, Baby.
Right.
So I did that. And then afterwards we would continue to talk. And then we finally met on, I forget the circumstances under which we met, but we did meet and continue to talk. And then his stuff just started blowing up, and in a beautiful way. I would go and see the concerts and stuff, and then just watch him have to negotiate that kind of stardom, which was interesting to me. Just to see, because it's everything about it is not great, and especially when it happens really, really fast. And when I say really fast, I mean that part of it happens fast. And there's a lot of people pulling at you for one thing or another. And, I think it takes its toll on people. But the conversations that we were able to have were always grounded in the music. And we had several conversations when Purple Rain came out. He was very nervous about it. And I said, well, he said, I may have bitten off more than I could chew on this one. I said, well, did you do the best you could? He said, well, yeah. I said, well, then you have to let it go. Now you've done it. You're not going to unring that bell. So now just know if you did the best that you could, the people will determine. And, we saw what happened with that.
Yeah.
And then there was another
good that you gave
occasion.
him a push.
Well, it didn't take, it doesn't take much when the person innately already knows, or they wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
But the idea of being an artist is sometimes we also wear a certain kind of insecurity. Some of the same energy that goes into why we're able to feel certain things and push it out and manifest it as music.
Mm-hmm.
Well, some of that same thing works the other way too, that there's an insecurity there about it because you feel things so deeply. So, he had those moments too. And then I think one of the ones that was so profound for me, now he's, major superstar, and he's going to do the Grammys with this new ingenue named Beyonce. And they were going to they opened the Grammys one year, and I was music directing the show.
Right.
And they had rehearsed and gone through the thing. And, I went to rehearsal and made sure everything was okay. And we had a nice talk and met her and all that. So we were rehearsing. With the Grammys, they run it once and then they reset and go. So at the rehearsal, the director or producer of the show came up to me and said, hey, they're using a little bit of enhancement with Pro Tools, etc., for these vocals and things like that. I just want it to be live. I just want them to just play. And I need you to go tell him that. And I'm like, this is not didn't impress me as being a great idea. A few hours away, where everything is already set up for the way that they've been doing it.
Right.
Everybody in the truck is ready to do it a certain way. Cameras are ready to do it a certain way. Sound in the building is ready to do it a certain way. Sound to record to go out and broadcast is ready to do it a certain way. And then the producer throws this large wrench in it with his request. But my job was to go tell him.
Right.
So I went over to Prince and we had to talk about it. And I said, okay, well, I know you're all ready to do it like this, but there's the idea of you just doing it live. And he says, what do you think I should do? So I made sure no microphones were anywhere near me.
Yeah.
And I
Well,
said the same thing that I said to you. I just reminded him that everybody else who was ready to make this happen was set up and ready to do it a certain way on the basis of days of preparation. And that while it might be able to be okay, they're not set up for that. They're not ready for that. Now, that doesn't mean that they can't do it, but that's a heck of a chance to take.
Yeah.
Because when you get off this stage in a few minutes, they're going to reset this show. And the next time we see you is top of show going out.
Wow.
And he says, okay, I got it. Tell him no.
And you were relieved, probably, right? No?
In the biggest
Okay.
way.
Yeah.
In the biggest way. Because you see, the music director at that time, I don't know if it's the same now, but at that time, the music director still bared the brunt of the responsibility relative to how the performances came off, musically speaking. And there is a direct correlation between, the kind of communication that you can have with the artist as to what it is that they are about to do. That sometimes I think is not necessarily part of the equation when people just decide arbitrarily, let's do it like this now. Sometimes it doesn't work.
That's a lot of responsibility on your shoulders doing 3 times you did it, right? The Grammys?
Yeah, I did the Grammys.
Yeah. How much preparation in advance did you put into that?
It depends on the show and who's on it.
Okay.
The Grammys had gotten to a point where so many of the acts, probably more of them than not, are self-contained.
Okay.
So then it becomes a matter of adjusting the timeline as far as what it is they're going to do and making sure that everybody has what they need to stick to that, sort of monitoring those types of things in rehearsals, which is different from how I think I did do maybe some of the last ones where I had to actually go in the studio, pre-record certain kinds of things if there were 2 people that they wanted to put together who didn't necessarily perform together. Usually there was a Grammy orchestra so that, there was a backing group for each of the artists to perform if there were any special numbers that had to happen or special video packages that needed scoring or any of those things. The music director used to have to do all of that too.
Wow. And plus was that at the Staples Center?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So big arena as well. But you pulled it off greatly.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I had a great time doing it.
Right.
I still remain the only female music director.
Wow. Would you do it again if they came knocking on your door?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. It would depend on who did the knocking.
Yeah, that's right.
And what they wanted to do.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly true. Hey, about Prince, did he ever ask you, he wanted to pass along one of his songs for you to record?
No, but legend has it that he wrote one with me in mind.
Yeah. What was I Want to Be Your Lover?
That's what I heard.
And I Feel for You? Maybe 2.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's what I heard.
He wasn't talking, right? But it's good to be in the conversation. So, yeah. You did come back with them to play a one-off with Saturday Night Live. How did that come about? That was cool.
He said, well, I'm doing the 15th anniversary of, I think it was 15th of Saturday Night Live. I said, wow, okay. He says, and I have the film is coming out, Batman. So I'm going to do Electric Chair on the show. I wonder if you would do the show with me. I said, okay. Love to. I was in the middle of some other project, but I said, okay, let's do it. So he said, okay, I'll make all the arrangements and you can come. We're going to rehearse for like 9 days. I said,
For
okay,
one
wait.
song. Wow.
I said, how many songs you doing? He said, well, okay, I can't get away. I can't get away for 9 days. I said, but if you want to send me maybe one of your rehearsals, I will prepare and I'll come, a couple of days ahead if that's okay. So he said, okay, probably begrudgingly because he liked to rehearse. He wanted everything super tight,
Yeah.
and I get it.
Yeah.
So anyway, I did get to Minneapolis and I rehearsed with him and I went to New York and we did Saturday Night Lights. Little did I know that he was going to have my name
Right.
printed on the
And we could see it
on
even
the
though there was
piano.
so much smoke on stage, right? Yeah.
But it was really a fun experience and I enjoyed working with him and I enjoyed watching him in his element, his
Did he ever ask
his
you to
process.
come on tour around that time in his band?
No, but
No.
his management kind of hinted at that.
Right.
They were
Yeah.
like, well, this is kind of him checking you out, la 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 la. And I'm saying, okay, well, I'm honored and all of that, but until that comes out of his mouth, I'm coming to do the Saturday Night Live
Yeah. Right.
and then go
But
back to work.
yeah, I know because we're big Prince Minneapolis fans, and they love when you came out on there. So
I loved it. It was
yeah,
fun. I
right.
enjoyed it, and through that experience, I met Candy Dolfer.
That's right. Yeah, she played there. You played when Michael Bland was on that
Played
gig,
with
right?
Michael Bland.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
met a few people that we remained friendly after that.